Welcome to another edition of Chai with Molly, a show where we celebrate diversity the Canadian way. We want to begin today's segment by urging you to be safe as you enjoy the summer with your family. Chai with Molly begins right here, right now. Do you feel lost? Is something missing in your life? Are you struggling to find your purpose here on earth? If so, we have a very special guest from Calgary, Mr. Jason Johnson. He is going to share his story on how he found the answers you're looking for. Please join me in welcoming him to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so you have a riveting story.
Thank you.
All right, so why don't you share it with our viewers?
Sure. I didn't grow up in a strong Christian foundation home. I was very unfamiliar with what would be considered a traditional church environment or anything like that. And from a very young age, I felt this like really compelling push inside of me, something internal inside of me, always like pushing me around, almost as if it was bullying me in a way. And it really forced me to kind of look deep within and look deep in the outside. And so what I did is I started exploring life and the world and asking a lot of questions. I was kind of a young, hungry guy. And at a very young age, I started asking people, like, what is your purpose? What is our purpose in life? Why am I here? What makes you tick? What makes you get up in the morning? What puts a smile on your face? Like, I'm looking for happiness. I'm looking for my reason for living, the purpose. And so at a young age, I started asking around. I would ask, very well-intentioned teenagers a little bit older than me. I was, 12, 13, and looked up to them. Those are the people I looked up to at that point in my life. And I'd ask them, what makes you happy? What's my purpose and reason in life? And, they sort of introduced me to a world of drugs and alcohol, something that would grow in my life and be a continuing trend. I just never really stopped doing them. What I did with that part of my life is I kept going further and further, thinking that if I go a little bit further, if I drink a little bit more, if I do a little bit more drugs, I'll find what they've been talking about. But it never did happen for me that way. And I realized, even at that age, though I didn't stop, I realized that there was really no happiness found there. I knew that my reasoning wouldn't be found there. And so I kept asking people in life, you have mentors and people you look up to as a young person. And I would ask my school teachers, what makes you happy? What is the reason that I'm here? And they would give me answers like, well, what you need to do is go out and get an education. You need to go to post-secondary school, work hard in high school, get admitted into university, get a degree, and when you graduate, you'll find job security, you'll be higher in the social scale, and you'll be more secure. And so I bought into it. I worked really hard, put myself through university, work at night, go to school during the day. I graduated with a degree, and this is the reality, this is the truth of it, is that I never even showed up for my ceremony. I never even walked to that epic walk across the stage where they change your hat over. I was disappointed and I couldn't deal with it. I was like, that's it? This is it? Like, it's a ceremony? This is what I worked so hard for? Like, I didn't see any real sustainable value. I didn't find my purpose in that higher education. So I kept asking people, what makes you happy? What makes you tick? Why am I here? And of course, people who had been successful in business and carried themselves with some confidence would tell me, what you need to do is go out and find a great job. Get into your little niche of the market and make some great money. And so that's what I did. I worked very hard. And I went out and got a great job, and I was a young man, so I had no, expenses, but I was making a lot of money, making American money, and depositing the checks in Canada, and so that also increasing my paycheck. And I really had a good gig, as I say. And what I found with all that disposable income is I only did what was in my heart to already do. And so I didn't really have anything to show for the money I was making. I just did more drugs and alcohol and more of the party lifestyle. And it just left me feeling empty again. I'm just like, there's still this internal push, almost, pushing me into areas of life that are unexplored. And so I realized, it wasn't the drugs and alcohol, it wasn't the party lifestyle, it wasn't the education, and now I know it wasn't the money, because I had lots of money and it meant very little to me. Sure, I could do what I wanted to do, but that's just it. I didn't know what to do next. And so this other couple, they came along and said, what you need to do is you need to find your soulmate. You need to find that person that completes you, your better half, as we always call it. And so I thought, okay, my next relationship, I'm going to be fussy and really, find my girl. And I found a wonderful girl. She was, everything that I thought that I wanted at the time. And we dated for 2 years, and I really made an honest effort to love her the best that I knew how to love. Now, mind you, my idea of love was, I love you because you make me feel this way, right? It was, I understand now it was a pretty selfish form of love, but it was like based on emotional highs and lows. Because of my first experience with love, they're like butterfly feelings, that excitement. Oh, that must be love. What did I know? I was just a kid, right? And we dated for 2 years. She was a great girl, but we just banged heads. There's no way we're moving forward. Our highs would be really intense, great highs, but when we were low, we were really low. And finally, the fight just got too much. We broke up, we went our separate ways. So now I had experienced that party lifestyle, doing what I want, when I want to do it, left me feeling nothing. I had good things like the education, I had great paying jobs, and now I had this long-term relationship where I thought I could really make a go of it. And at the end, it was still like, I'm not happy. Am I really gonna just find a great wife, get married, have children, work until I'm 65, get a watch at retirement, and then that's it? Like, is that what I'm here for, really? And I was running out of ideas. And what I did as part of my, almost you could call it research, as my exploration, my adventure in life, is I started traveling. And I'm not the kind of guy at that time to go on like the 7-day all-inclusive vacation. No, I traveled for about 3 years living out of a backpack. You throw the backpack on and whatever in there is what you live on the next 3 years. Get little jobs when I needed a bit of money, and really, lived a very simple lifestyle. There was times where I would, sleep on park benches and bus stations. It didn't matter to me. But in those 3 years, I did find a little bit of happiness, and I felt like, well, maybe this is what I'm meant to do in life, because this is the happiest I've ever been, but I didn't really have any close relationships. I could turn around and run at any time, and I had no real responsibilities. It was just a very simple life. And I thought, well, maybe this is it, because I'm out of ideas. I don't know what else to do. I had participated in the extreme sports and been into skydiving and bungee jumping. And in those moments where you're falling from a plane and you sort of feel that bliss and that, like, okay, the adrenaline, and you think, well, maybe that's the moment where I didn't feel this internal push, but it's not reality. Like, I had to be grounded on the earth. I needed a job. I couldn't just free fall my whole life, right? So it's just, I was out of ideas. I'm 25 years old, I'm out of ideas. And I had been all around the world, experienced other major world religions, and participated wholeheartedly in them, trying for some kind of experience. I was out of physical and practical experiences. I was looking for spiritual experiences, looking through people, through every avenue possible. And the day came where I started this kind of like almost I ended up in Calgary, Alberta, and I had an old 73 Volkswagen van, classic orange, the surfer bus, and really a hippie van, and that was me then, and just simple life, and I'm living in Calgary, Alberta, and between the gym that I went to every day and my house was this little church on the corner. And I would drive by it every day, and it was kind of a retro-looking building, stained glass windows. And I thought, well, that's a peculiar-looking building, and it sort of attracted me to it. And so it was at an intersection. So every red light, every day as I drove by, I would look over, oh, hi, church, as if I started some kind of relationship with it, right? Okay, bye, church, you know. And it's almost like, in a strange way, that building became my friend. But there was something like drawing me, but I didn't know. I've shared with you before, my impression of God was like an old guy in the sky with a long gray beard that he doesn't talk. Nobody's talked to him.
Angry man.
Just casting, thunder and lightning, bam, bam, you know, and I thought nobody spoke to him since World War II, and that was my impression.
Sure.
So I certainly wasn't actively searching for God in anything. But I was searching for something, and the day came where I saw a sign outside this church, and it said, all guests are welcome. You're welcome to come. And I thought, if I ever do try a church, I will try that little one right there. And remember, there's nothing impressive. There's no amazing programs. I don't know anybody, hardly know anybody in the city. I certainly don't know anybody in the church, and nobody invited me. I'm just like, I'm going to go try it, because what I thought was instinct had always guided me around. It led me all around the world, and got me, of course, out of some dicey situations that go with world travel like that.
Take me to the edge when I don't want to. Make me look over jagged pieces. You know I'm scared, but I tiptoe to see a little closer. I close my eyes and take me higher than the sunrise. You take me further than all roads put together. You take me deeper than a secret in my heart. You take
We all face uncertain situations from time to time. Wouldn't it be nice if we could be ready to face difficult situations confidently all the time? If that is what you would like to do, then stay tuned. Life Matters begins now. Jay, what do people have to do to be confident in facing uncertain situations?
Well, you see, Molly, this is a very important topic, and because things happen to the best of us, things can come at you from an unexpected angle of life circumstances, and one needs to be ready, so one isn't thrown off emotionally, spiritually in your life, so you can handle life as it comes at you.
All right, because things happen to us, and it's
Right.
unpredictably.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's
So,
all about being prepared.
all right. So, what do we need to do to prepare ourselves to handle difficult circumstances?
Sure. The number one thing that people must acquire is self-confidence.
All right. Why is that important?
Because high self-esteem is essential. Self-confidence comes from knowing yourself. We must know our strengths and weaknesses, and you must develop the skill. And some of the ways to do that are never speak negatively about yourself.
I know people do that all the time.
That's right.
So, if you're one of those people who's struggling with self-esteem issues, this information is very, very important for you. So, never speak about yourself negatively. Never
Correct.
allow anyone
Yes.
to talk about you negatively.
That's correct. Never compare yourself to others.
I know people do that all the time.
All the time.
Especially women, when it comes to looks or makeup or clothes. And of course, men do that. Yeah, when it comes to money, yeah.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
So, not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Okay.
Number 3, strive for perfection, because in doing so, you will discover many new things about yourself you may not have been aware of.
I know, so important, right? When I'm at the health club, my coach
Sure.
is always having me do things that I think I could never do,
Yeah.
right? And when he insists that I do, I actually discover that I can do it, right?
Right.
So when you don't strive for higher goals, you may never know
You may never
your
know.
true potential.
That's right.
Okay,
There's more.
okay.
When you fail, we all do. Take a moment, evaluate the situation, and take responsibility for your part. Apologize if necessary, and move on. In other words, Molly, we should not let the circumstance stay on or linger with us, and we're all guilty of that. Move on.
All right, and also we need to take responsibility, right? Because
Yes.
people don't take responsibility. We always look to blame someone, something, somehow,
That's correct.
right?
That's correct.
So that's not a good way of looking at things. It's always good to take responsibility for your part and then learn from it
That's
and
right.
move on.
That's right. Be humble. Recognize that there are things you will never be able to change. Focus on what you can change. Leave the rest to God.
Okay, very important lesson.
Yes.
Okay.
Do what you love and enjoy.
Many people are frustrated
Yep.
because they have careers, they're engaged in activities or organizations that do not completely align with them or who they really are.
Exactly.
And so there is no joy in going to work.
That's right. And last but not least, celebrate your victories.
All right, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I
Celebrate.
love that.
Yes.
Yes, and I know you and I like to do that,
Absolutely.
right?
Molly.
Even if it's a small victory,
That's right.
we like to celebrate that.
We do.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
Well, live life consistent with your values. In other words, living your life consistent with your deepest values is essential for developing self-confidence.
In other words, be
go
authentic.
Yes. Go with who you are. Be yourself. I can never be you, can never be me, our personalities, that is, Exactly. See, another thought would be to be bold in your leadership style. Be strong. Give it. Engage full out. Take a risk. If you look bad, it's okay.
It's okay. At least you tried.
Exactly. Recognize your shortcomings. And don't let the ego get in the way.
This is a big one, Jay, because a lot of times people don't want to admit that they're wrong.
Exactly.
Or they've failed because they don't want to look bad in front of people.
That's right.
Right? Who cares?
Yep.
It's not about the people. It's about you.
That's right.
Right? And once you recognize that, it will keep you humble.
And a wise man knows how to remain humble.
Yes. And then you can work on that issue, and next time you will be wiser.
Exactly.
And not have the same situation. So give us a takeaway from this, Jay. What is the takeaway?
Every opportunity is a learning experience. Trust your judgment, assess the situation, and then take the decision. If you fail, try again. Take responsibility for your part, apologize if necessary, learn from it, and move on. That's it.
All right, so there you go. So those of you who are following us, Just for Life Matters, this is one of those really important segments that you want to pay attention to. And thank you so much for being here, Jay.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here, Molly.
All right, and write to me and let me know how this is helping you. We look forward to this incredible journey with you, and look forward to becoming incredibly powerful individuals.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for being here, Jay.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I have felt the wind blow, whispering your name. I have seen your tears fall when I watch the rain. And how could I say there is no God when all around creation calls a singing bird, a mighty tree, the vast expanse of open sea. Gazing at a bird in flight, soaring through the air, lying down beneath the stars. I feel your presence there. I love to stand at ocean shore and feel the thundering breakers roar, to walk through golden fields of grain, 'neath endless blue horizons frame. fragrance of a rose in bloom, a newborn's cry at birth. How could I say there is no God when all around creation calls? A singing bird, a mighty tree, the vast expanse of open sea. Yes, I love to stand at ocean shore and feel the thundering breakers roar, to walk through golden fields of rain, 'neath endless blue horizons frame. I
We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed preparing it for you. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or would like to advertise with us, please contact me. I can be reached at 647-979-3220. Enjoy the summer, stay safe, and continue to be good and kind to a stranger. It really is a good thing.